REKT Podcast is brought to you by Honey Miner. Want to start mining, but never had the technical skills or time? Honey Miner is the answer. Honey Miner is a one-click install mining software that downloads directly to your computer and earns you Bitcoin. No more writing scripts or configurations. Just download the desktop app and start mining immediately. What are you waiting for? Go to honeyminer.com and start earning Bitcoin while you sleep today. That's honeyminer.com, on Twitter at GetHoneyMiner, and Telegram at t.me/honeyminer.
I'm Dirty Dan, and this is REKT.
Hello and welcome to REKT Podcast. I am Bunchu Betts alongside my faithful companion, Crypto Chamber. How are you today, sir?
It is a good day. It's 10 p.m. on Monday. Monday's done now. The rest of the week's just a breeze, right?
Well, yeah, Monday's done. It is 10 p.m. We are recording a little late because we have a wonderful West Coast guest, Dirty Dan. How are you, man?
Hey, guys. I am doing good. Excited to be here and a little nervous. I don't know.
No, don't be nervous.
This is not the place to be nervous. Don't worry.
Don't be nervous. We are not the two people you need to be nervous about or around. So
yeah, this is a safe space.
It is a little late, so we did lose a member. Go figure. Cynthia is not here this evening. It was past her bedtime, if you know what we're saying. So,
they know what we're saying.
If you've listened to this podcast before, you know what we're saying.
10 p.m. is the number, by the way.
10 p.m. Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your Cynthia is? I do. She's in bed. Anyway, but that's how was your weekend, Chamber?
You know what? I was kind of sick all weekend. Not feeling very well. But we just chilled out and watched movies in bed and watched a good one.
Like a great weekend.
Good family friendly movie for those of you guys have kids out there. The new Jumanji. That is a good movie. Good for everybody. My 5-year-old watched it and I was entertained the whole time.
Sounds good. I have not seen it. I'm Jumanji purist with Robin Williams.
Listen, there's a shout out to Robin Williams in it. You'll love it. I'm a big Jumanji original fan. Ties the whole thing in. It's terrific.
That's awesome. Dan, how was your weekend, man?
My weekend was good. I worked all day Saturday, as I do work about 6 days a week. And then Sunday, I saw the Rams game.
Yeah.
That's much better than my weekend.
Yeah, that was a big one. Rams beat the Chargers. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and we got to eat LA Street Dogs, bacon wrapped.
Oh my God, I saw that picture that you posted. That thing looked... did you see this, Chamber?
I did not. That sounds delicious.
Tell everybody exactly what it is.
It's a hot dog that's cooked on those little street carts, wrapped in bacon. So it's like crispy on the outside. And they put it on the toasted bun. And they sizzle up like jalapenos, onions, and bell peppers, and they throw it on top with mustard, ketchup, and some mayo. And it's just
mayonnaise.
A dirty, sloppy hot dog.
Yeah.
A dirty dog for Dirty Dan.
That's right. Dan only takes his dog one way.
Dirty. That's awesome. So are the Rams the kings of LA? Like, are they, as from a football standpoint? No, from a football standpoint, because they were both home teams. Yeah, I mean, they played each other in the same stadium that they both have their home games in.
Yeah, they're definitely top dog here. I mean, it's not just because they're winning. Everybody was rejecting the Chargers when they got here. There were some Chargers fans in the stands, and you could hear them cheering their team on. But, I mean, they gave the Rams some trouble during the game. There was some turnovers, and Phillip Rivers did come back. But, man, the Rams fans were just nuts.
Yeah, it sounded pretty electric. I was watching it on television. Chamber, who's your king of LA?
It's not my king of LA, the king of LA the kings of LA are the Lakers, led by the king, LeBron James. The season starts today, folks.
Boo! It's a high
media day. Yeah, it's media day.
For those listening at home, it is a high Canadian holiday. Lakers Media Day.
It sure is.
That's what they celebrate.
That's a high holy day for me, for sure.
It is. Anyway, so my weekend was fantastic. A couple weeks ago. Was it a couple weeks ago? I forget when we were talking about this. When we were doing our own rapid fire and we talked about our own guilty pleasure musical artists that we would make fun of each other for. And I told you I was going to see mine. I went and saw mine this weekend at Giant Stadium. And for those of you who don't know, you can at me and make fun of me for it. Big Ed Sheeran fan.
It's funny every time you say it.
Yep, and Dan is laughing at me.
Yeah, I'm laughing.
Yep. But so I went and saw Ed Sheeran at MetLife Stadium. It was a lot of fun. I had copious beverages and some street hot dogs, and the best was like the street pretzel on the same thing, like that street cart with the like charcoal in it and all that. And I got one for my fiance, and she's like, "This is the most disgusting thing I've ever had," and she wouldn't eat it. And I'm like, and so I ate both of them, surprise,
back to back.
But then the next day she woke up, she's like, I could still taste that like charcoal pretzel. I'm like, yeah, that's great. So,
but Bunchu, did you throw your panties at him?
I actually, so here I brought extras, so they weren't like the ones I was wearing, but I snuck them through security so that I could throw them on stage. So yes, I did.
Good for you.
Yep.
Good for you. So you went back to back on the hot dogs though, for real?
No, it was pretzels.
Oh, sorry, it's pretzels.
Yes, it was pretzels.
All right.
They were large. I would.
Do you know what? Do you know what a bang bang is?
No. Sounds
if I said let's go for a bang bang.
Sounds delicious and erratic.
A bang bang is when you can do it solo, you can do it with a friend, but you go and have back to back meals. So you would go to one restaurant. Say we go for sushi, okay? And we'd kill a sushi bar, and then we go to an Italian restaurant and kill a full Italian meal. It's called a bang bang. It's 2 back-to-back meals.
I would totally be into that. Next time you're in America around my parts,
we'll do a bang bang for
a bang bang.
Because I had to do one a couple of days ago. Actually, I wasn't anticipating it, but I was heading out of town last week. I was going up to my hotel for the night before I took the flight out, and I picked up some drive-through while I was driving to the hotel. And my new boss had called me and said, "Hey, you want to go for dinner?" It was like 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, I just want to go. Like, and I just had drive-through. I'm like, okay. So I met him at the Keg and had like a steak dinner. I'm like, it's been a while since I had a.
So wait, you banged a steak dinner and some fast food?
Yeah, like a quarter pounder with cheese meal, and then a steak dinner. Yeah, you bang, bang, baby. Bang, bang.
You savage. Oh, my God. Anyway, all right. So we got Dirty Dan with us. We're going to get into it. Before we do, I have to mention, please follow us on Twitter at REKT_podcast. Join us in our Telegram group, t.me/REKT_podcast. Like us or rate us, please, on iTunes. Give us a rate. Tell us when the last time you had a bang bang was. Give us a reply, anything like that. We would appreciate it. It goes a long way to help us get visible. And then one more thing I do want to mention before we get started. We had our first inaugural crypto Twitter poker night last night.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
That was a lot of fun. So we got about 15 people that came out and played. So and it was a good time. Although albeit pretty quick. We'll fix that next time. But
I kind of liked it quick like that. I was efficient.
Yeah, but I felt like the stacks weren't big enough for the blinds.
No, that is true.
It totally changed the way I usually play. But Chamber, tell them how you did.
Finished in 3rd place. I thought it was going to be done in 15 minutes. I don't play a lot of poker.
Whoa.
But
Chamber came down in third place at the first annual. And then shout out to King Crypto 840, Crypto Leonidas, for taking down the championship in the first one. So we're going to do this again. We're going to keep trying to grow it bigger and bigger because it was really a lot of fun. We're going to try to set up a Discord so we can chat with each other during the games next time too. The next one we're going to do is October 14th. It's also a Sunday night. We're going to try to do it at the same time, around 7 o'clock. So we will get more info out there as well. But I wanted to shout out the winner and Crypto Chamber coming in third place. I can lose sixth.
Yeah, I can lose every time now. Like, I'll finish last every time.
Yeah, no, you hit the podium on the first one ever. Yep. You're good to go. But
congratulations.
Anyway, so let's get into Dan. Dan, we like to start with our guests by kind of finding out where your crypto journey started, how you got into crypto, how long you've been around, kind of what got you on this path that you are on today.
Okay, now I got to think back. I had the opportunity to get into crypto a lot earlier than I did because I'd heard about Bitcoin and all the things that were going on with the
Silk Road.
Silk Road, thank you. But I kind of didn't because I got a resentment against it. And it's kind of a personal thing. I've talked about this before, but my younger brother, he got himself really addicted into drugs. And he was buying drugs on the Silk Road. And now he's a heroin addict, and it's just all bad news. So I had this, like, internal resentment. I'm an IT guy. I love anything to do with technology and stuff like that, but I, like, forcefully averted myself away from it, and now I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt for not looking at it. But I did just because, what it was tied into and all those things. But what got me into it was doing IT. I have the opportunity to work with a lot of systems and servers and stuff like that. And I had all this old equipment, and I was like, well, what can I do with this? I mean, it's just sitting here. It's still good, but it's been, like, decommissioned. So I'm like, well, I've heard of this, like, mining thing, and I looked it up, and but at the time it was like the beginning of 2017. I wasn't looking at the markets or the prices or anything like that, and I actually just looked up, like, okay, how do I generate cryptocurrency? And I looked to see what would be a palatable with CPU mining, because I didn't have graphics cards, and I found one called Gridcoin. And Gridcoin is it's done for, like, science projects like SETI at home. I think we all may have ran SETI at home back in the day, the search for extraterrestrial, for, like, cosmology, and it contributes to science, and at the same time you earn Gridcoin. So, and I just let that run on old servers, and it was collecting thousands and thousands of coins, and it's and I didn't think anything of it, and then I started hearing these little news clips about Bitcoin and stuff being worth something, and, like, the whole 2017 December was coming up, and I looked at my stock of coins. I had like 20,000 or something like that, and they were up to 20 cents.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, wow, what is this? And then I started the journey down the rabbit hole. Then it was like, all right, let me get on Reddit and start reading. I didn't know about crypto Twitter. Started Googling like crazy, and I realized, wow, this is something pretty incredible. And I'm like, wait, the Bitcoin thing, the Silk Road thing, I knew that had fallen off, but I had never, tied into that it kept going. And then I just got sucked in by the technology. Being a computer geek, that spoke to me, Sure. So that's how I pretty much got started.
So I heard you say that you started down the rabbit hole on Reddit and not crypto Twitter. I did the exact same thing. I didn't know crypto Twitter existed when I first started, and so Reddit was where I got a lot of my information. And I just remember, like, if I go back and look at Reddit now, like our ETH trader, I'm like, oh my god, what was I ever doing here? Like, it is Chamber. Were you ever a Reddit guy?
Never. Like I wouldn't even know how to use it properly. I think I got confused maybe once or twice in the last 10 years.
But that's where I started before crypto Twitter. And then, my first 6 or 7 months in crypto, I was totally blind to crypto Twitter, and I was totally a Reddit guy myself.
Do you guys use Reddit for a lot of other things too?
Oh yeah.
I never had, but I bet Dan, being an IT guy and a tech guy, that's the Reddit's where they
interesting.
Live.
That's interesting. I gotta look into that a bit more then.
Yeah, Reddit was introduced to me by my cousin, and I find it fascinating. It's like the voting system and things getting to the top page, and it's a community-driven news source. And so, there's a lot of subreddits for some of the darkest things. Yeah.
So maybe a Shazam movie, a Shazam movie Reddit kind of thing.
You would find yourself on Shazam.
Maybe some Bigfoot Reddits or something like that.
Oh, 100%. Right, okay, you're gonna fall in love with Reddit.
Maybe Reddit's my friend. I didn't know.
You're gonna go the opposite way, but you're gonna not go on crypto Reddit. You're gonna go on other Reddits.
Yeah, other Reddits. Yeah.
Yeah. But I found with crypto stuff, I don't know. I didn't find it as, I hate to say this, reliable, even because crypto Twitter is definitely not reliable place.
What are you saying?
But I don't know. I found that I learned a lot more on Twitter than I did on Reddit once I made the jump. How'd you make the jump, Dan?
Well, all right. So for me, I've been on Twitter for many years already, and my friend, who's a musician, he's got an account hundreds of thousands of followers. He was I asked him, it started with Facebook. I was like, oh, why aren't you on Facebook, man? And he's like, because Facebook's stupid. I'm on Twitter. Get your ass on Twitter, And I'm like, oh, all right. So I got on Twitter, and I got a pretty big following just by his fans and stuff like that, because I had gone to his shows and all these things. And then, so one day I'm on, Reddit. I'm like, I wonder if anybody's talking about crypto on Twitter. And so I did hashtag crypto or hashtag Bitcoin. And then I just found this community, and I was like, you are my weird, strange people. I love it.
And that we are a very weird, strange bunch, especially at this current hour. With the things transpiring on crypto Twitter chamber.
Oh yeah. I found my spirit animal today.
Yes, shout out Dumb for breaking Twitter this evening before his plane ride.
Did you see this, Dan?
I didn't. What you got to
oh boy,
describe it.
So you want to describe it?
Well,
in detail, okay. Please.
Yeah, so
I'm not sure how much detail you want.
Friend of crypto Twitter, Dumb, at Dumb, sent out a little...
At Dumb as in at D-U-M.
Right, thank you, not D-U-M-B. Decided to snap a little selfie of himself.
Before boarding
a plane.
I think he might actually be in the airplane bathroom.
That's what I thought too, yeah. And decided to give all of crypto Twitter their first tip, crypto tip, and gave us a little sneak peek of his little nubbin there.
Oh my God! Really?
Oh yeah, and
just a little peek.
Oh. And you don't even you don't see it unless you click to engage with the image.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it is just right there for you to see, just the tip on the plane.
That's so.
I think that's the first crypto Twitter Mile High Club, if you can count it as that.
That one killed me. I was laughing out loud like that.
Well, I messaged you in our host chat and I said, I think Dumb's about to break Twitter. You clearly went and found it.
I'm like, whoa, Dumb's breaking Twitter. I got to know what's happening.
That's so funny. But anyway, shout out at Dumb for that legend status right there. But anyway, all right, moving on. So Dan, you get into crypto in 2017. So you've seen kind of the rise and fall here. We wouldn't be REKT podcast without asking you some of your biggest REKT stories. Can you share any with us?
I got a few.
Nice.
So not knowing what I was doing very much and following my advice from Reddit, which I've learned it's just a shill fest. But at the time, I'm like, oh, wow, this makes total sense. Yep. I got 3 that I came up with.
All right.
And just to let the audience know, I did take a few notes based upon what I was told, just because I get nervous about these types of things. I like being prepared and well thought out and how I present myself.
Right. DYOR.
Yeah, DYOR. So I had to think about this, and the first one of I can't tell which order, but I'll start with what I think was in order. So the first was Bounty, BNTY. That got shilled to high heaven on Reddit, and that was one of my first buys outside of like the Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin and Ripple or XRP, and I was like, oh, Bounty 0x, like this is good. Everybody's talking about it, and look how many news posts there are. Like, oh, I'll throw a few $100 at it, And
what does it do, or what did it do?
It still does. It's supposed to be kind of like a bounty program for.
Yeah, I know this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you put out there like, hey, we got a bug we want you to find or something, or
kind of like hacking. Is it like, yeah.
Oh, and this is the one you were talking about.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's in that same realm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so if you find it, you get paid out in bounty tokens. And I thought that was a great idea. I mean, back then the market was, jumping up, and I bought some, and now it's probably down hundreds of percents. I don't even know what.
That chart's looking sweet though right now. I'm telling you.
What are you looking at a bounty chart?
Yeah, of course I am.
Now I gotta look. I'm
sicko.
Are you really looking at that? Oh, okay. My bounty is down. I'm not gonna show you. About 100%.
That's a KuCoin gem.
96.13% down. So.
Oh, one second. I just want
You're buying some right now, aren't you?
No. I got one. I just want to see mine because mine's close to that. What'd you say yours was?
96.13.
USD or BTC?
USD.
Okay.
This is great radio, Chamber.
97.22%.
Oh, Chamber's got you beat.
You got me beat.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Thank you. Up firing.
I feel better about myself. Thank you, Chamber.
That's what I'm here for, people.
So my next one was Ethereum Classic. Now, it's not a total bust. It was when I bought it that it was a bust. I like Ethereum Classic. I like the fact that they're going to stay proof of work. I like that they were the original Ethereum, and that when Ethereum switches to proof of stake, all the miners are going to go to Ethereum Classic. I like that the dApps can move from chain to chain with small modifications. So I have hope in Ethereum Classic. But when I bought it, it was right before the Callisto hard fork.
Oh my God, I'm with you on this REKT story, by the way.
Yeah, so I bought it at like $30-something, wanting to get these Callisto coins, which I also like Callisto. I think that what they're trying to develop is pretty amazing in the sense that, they want to incentivize people to audit smart contracts on any blockchain. And I think that's a great idea, but buying it right before it's going to hard fork is not the best idea. So I bought into that, and that's another one.
I did the same thing. I remember I think I was somewhere in the 20s though, and I had like a leveraged trade so I was just trying to trade it. And I remember I was up really nice on it, and I'm like, man, this thing's got a week before the hard fork. I'm going to keep letting it ride. And then it just crashed so hard, and I did the worst thing I could do, and I just kept covering my long, thinking it was going to bounce, and it didn't.
It's bad news when you got to time it right, And then my last one, and again, this isn't in any kind of chronological order, but when I found crypto Twitter, I found in Bellina.
And, oh no!
And I'm like, oh, nice. This guy knows what he's talking about and whatever. And so
I mean, for the record, he did make a lot of money. I mean, if you followed him early enough, you would have made money.
Yeah,
had you have sold, at the top.
That's true. And he had his chart, which that Excel chart, which everybody was making money on so much that and it was actually affecting the market.
I watched a little Ian Bellina. You're not alone there.
Ian Shalina.
And I bought Pareto, which I don't even remember what it does.
I don't know that one.
I'm not familiar with that one either.
It was I forgot what it was. I'd have to. If you want to look it up, Chambers, it was something about.
Now you're saying it, kind of. Yeah, Pareto Network.
It's Pareto Network. And I mean, I'm holding on to it because there it is. But I mean, these are examples I'm giving you of times I didn't BYOR. I just kind of jumped in. I didn't consider what I was doing or what I was buying, or whether it was FOMO or what the purpose was. And I wasn't very well educated, and it was exciting. It was electric. It was crypto. And
it sure was.
I mean, granted, it was after 2017, but shortly after. But, like, I didn't understand. I was never a financial guy. That's why I don't day trade. People ask me, oh, why don't you do TA or whatever? Because I'm like, there are people who are so much better at that than I am. What I can do is I can look at projects now. I can look at the technology now, and I can see where there might be good use cases or good industries at which it's going to help. And I think everybody has a niche in crypto, and mine is definitely not day trading. But that's why I invest. And that's changed because I've been obsessed on a daily basis with this. My wife can attest to that.
Yeah, you got your wife into it. I'm pretty sure.
I did.
She's got her own little cult following.
She actually does, and that kind of blows my mind. But she's her own person, and very, very dry sense of humor and very fun, and we make a good team. So I'm really happy that she jumped into this with me.
What you might as well shout her out now. What's her Twitter handle?
Her Twitter handle is Kelsey Schmelcy. It's KELCEY SHMELCEY.
Good thing you spelled that, because
it's tough. Well, she'd kill me if she thought Kelsey. If I said Kelsey was spelled with an S, she hates it.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you guys are like a.
I'm already following her. Even better. That's what I thought.
Oh, you didn't even know? Oh well.
Well, see, I knew her as a different name. Kelsey Smelcy is like the official but it's Lady Crypto.
Lady Crypto. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're a one of the few crypto Twitter power couples, I would say.
Very few of those out there.
I'd put them into that realm, like up with Yuki and the Goddess type levels. But anyway, so can you tell? So that I think you made a good point here, like trading versus investing and finding your niche and things like that. What advice would you give anybody new to kind of help them along that process and kind of test what they might be good at and things like that?
Well, one of the things I'll use that a few of the things. I'll start with one. Is that when you're looking at a project, don't invest in something that has a use case for a market you don't understand. If someone's coming up with a token for healthcare, and you've never worked in healthcare, and you don't know much about it besides you are a patient in healthcare, and you know some of the troubles of it. I wouldn't go all in on a coin that's promising to be the next, or a blockchain project, I should say, that's promising to be the next healthcare record. Invest in industries you understand. There's industries I've taken passes on that I don't know very much of. Like if you're a big gamer, you might be looking at things like Engine Coin, or I think it's Wax or something like that. Mm-hmm. And you got to go into places you understand. That's one of the things I would say early on. I'll borrow at CoinEasy, shout out to him. One of his first things that I ever heard him say was buy some Bitcoin and transfer it to a wallet, and try to get your head wrapped around that. And one thing that I do is I follow opposing viewpoints. I follow Roger Ver and Craig Wright, and a lot of these people who are not really favored in the crypto space. And I follow what they're going to say because I don't want to be blinded by cognitive bias. You know,
yeah, sure. Right?
Like this is my thing, or I know this is going to be good because I'm going to find all these people that support it and only follow them.
Right.
And it's ridiculous. You need to be open-minded about this and be logical and don't get emotional. You know, you're going to get wrecked.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. Cool, man. So thank you for that. Let's go a little different direction. How about a real-life REKT story you can share with the crew?
I got 3.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So if people know this I've been sober for over 8 years, and before that I had a little bit of a problem, and so that had developed into multiple stories that I have. So the first one would be my parents got me a car when I was like 19 or something like that, and I'm not a mechanic, believe it or not. I work in computers. Like I'm
right.
And I shouldn't even say that. This is embarrassing. I should know about this, but I didn't because I was too busy getting loaded. But I never put oil into it.
Oh, no.
And so one night when I was living in Texas, I was in our high school parking lot at night and it was raining. I'm like, oh, let me do donuts in the car. And I'm doing donuts by myself, high. Nice. And the engine seized on me and locked. And I just got out of the car and walked home in the rain and just left it.
Oh my god!
I'm like, nobody's gonna drive it.
It'll be here tomorrow. No one's stealing it. That's great.
So that's definitely my first one. My second one, I don't remember, but I lost a friendship over.
Oh no.
So I was in Texas again, and I did a lot of bad things in Texas. Texas is you find ways to entertain yourself that you shouldn't.
Texas, the enabler state.
Well, to me, there was nothing to do. I mean, I'm
sure
California born, but it was boring. And I ended up going to a titty bar one night with my friends.
For the buffet.
For the buffet.
Some of those buffets, man.
And I was very focused on the drinking, and someone said, hey, here's some Xanax.
Oh, boy.
And you shouldn't mix alcohol and Xanax. And so I remember leaving the parking lot. My friend was like, hey, can you give me a ride home? I said, oh, okay.
Oh, no.
So we get into the car, and then I black out.
Oh, no.
I don't remember anything. I woke up the next day in my bed like something happened to my car. That's all I knew. And I ran downstairs, and I checked the car, and it looked fine. And I was like, okay. I get in the car and I start to drive it, and it's pulling as hard as possible to the right. Like I have to turn the steering wheel almost the way over to the left just to go straight. Yeah. And I'm like, what happened? So I park the car. I call my friend. I go, hey, what happened that night? And it's just silence on the other line. And I go, dude, are you there? And he's like, you don't remember? I said, no. Like what? He's like, you almost killed us. I'm like, geez. What happened? And he proceeded to tell me that we went on the overpass, and it's a left-hand turn to get on the on-ramp, and the overpass kind of dead-ended, and it was just empty space. He said I looked at him and smiled and hit the gas and launched it off the overpass, cleared a chain link fence, and I landed on my right front tire, which bent the subframe, and then there was a guy in the security booth, because I landed in a secure parking lot, and I backed up, went through the gate and broke it. Oh my
god!
And just went home like nothing had happened. And he told me to never
are
speak
you?
to him again.
Are you Steve McQueen?
He's dirty freaking Dan.
Holy smokes.
Oh
That's
my
insane.
God.
Yeah, I don't know how I lived.
That's like straight out of a fucking movie.
You got tiger blood running through your veins, buddy. That's why.
Oh, that BDE.
That poor car. That was the same car that I forgot
Same
to put
car?
oil in. Yeah.
What kind of car was it?
It was a Cutlass Supreme.
Of course it was.
Yeah, I mean that just
Obviously it was a Cutlass Supreme.
that begs for activity like that.
Yeah, and then my final story that I'll bring up. I'm sure I have more that I can't think of, but this is for the guys out there. There was this chick I was talking to, and she was like flying to go model and stuff in Japan. Super beautiful girl. And that night, she was at my house. I had her at my house, and I went and I was like panicking. So I went downstairs and I found something called in my mom's medicine cabinet, something called Buspar, which is a social anxiety medication.
Oh my goodness!
And I actually snorted a bunch of this. And I went back upstairs.
As you do, of course.
As I do.
As one does.
As one does. I mean, again, don't do drugs, kids.
No.
And I, started making out with her, whatever, got her shirt off, and then my tongue and my mouth stopped working, and I fell under her chest and just started drooling, and she had to push me off.
Oh my God!
And then, suffice it to say, I never.
You're a wild party, man.
It was a wild party.
I was a wild party guy. This was in my late teens, early 20s. I didn't have much direction. I didn't have much. I'll put it like this safely, much to live for, but that's different today, and all that's changed for me. So shout out to anybody who's going through those issues. I just want to say, if you ever have a problem, drugs, alcohol, anything like that, and you need somebody to talk to, you can at me, you can DM me. My DMs are always open. I've been there, and it's not a pretty place.
Yeah, I think that's first of all, I appreciate you sharing some of those stories. While they are entertaining to hear in hindsight, obviously there's some pretty scary stuff. But we've had you on like Shil Nye, similar stories with people kind of getting themselves sober and realigning themselves and finding crypto or finding something in their life that's kind of given them some direction. So I think that's pretty awesome to hear, from guys like you and Shil and stuff like that who, have made a name for themselves in the space, and just kind of that everybody, there's tons of people going through stuff like this every day, and it puts it in perspective that it can be overcome and all that kind of stuff. So that's really cool of you to share some stories like that. I appreciate that.
Of course, I try to be an open book as best as I can be, and try to be positive and remain positive. I mean, crypto's my passion, but I'm a human being, so I understand there's other human beings out there, and if you do follow me, I am grateful for the interactions.
Cool, man.
You are one woke individual, sir.
He's
woke
AF.
Shit.
Woke AF. All right, let's. We're running a little long already. Let's roll through. Not your fault. This is good stuff.
We're a bunch of gabby gals sometimes.
We totally are. Let's roll through into the news. Chamber, want to start us off?
Yeah, let's do some news. All right. Canada, U.S., two different countries, two different views on blockchain technology. Looks like Bitcoin Mutual Fund CEO for the first Bitcoin Mutual Fund in Canada. So Canada's the first country to allow a Bitcoin.
What is the title of this article? Because I thought it was funny.
Bitcoin Mutual Fund CEO explains why Canada is more blockchain friendly than the U.S.
So is his name Chamber?
Yes, it is. No, it's not. I wish it was. But the gentleman, who the name here is, I just lost it. Doesn't even give a name. No. Oh, Sean Clark, CEO of First Block Capital, told CCN News, our trusted news source here, I think in general, the Canadian regulatory bodies understand the potential benefits of blockchain and cryptocurrency. And traditionally, Canadian regulators have been more technological, or had been more open to technological innovations. That is different from what you see in the U.S. End quote.
Interesting. So, how do you feel being a Canadian?
You know what?
More friendly?
I'm less than a month away from legalizing marijuana, the first of the big countries to do so. Big fan of that. Let's collect some taxes on this stuff. We're going to be out of debt in no time.
Well, I was referring to blockchain, but... Okay.
But I'm just saying, that's example A. Example B now, we're starting with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I mean, this is, we're just... we got a handsome prime minister, going all around the world, making friends, making allies.
Didn't you just get Coinbase like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, don't worry about it. We're on the right path. We also got a mutual fund. So,
all right,
pretty pumped.
Canada, very blockchain friendly, Tim Hortons friendly, and marijuana friendly. So that's
you guys can all move up here if you want.
I think we're just, at this point, this article is just us trying to keep score, me versus you against each other.
That's right.
Cool. So my article is crypto-funded web browser Brave sees phenomenal growth as Google shreds its privacy policy. So apparently there's a new Google Chrome update. I haven't noticed this yet, but maybe I will soon. There's a new Google Chrome privacy policy that forces browser login. So, in short, Google has transformed the question of consenting to data upload from something affirmative that I actually have to put effort into, entering the credentials and everything, into something I can now do with a single click, and it's a dark pattern. Basically, they're saying that Google's forcing you to share all your information and link it across all its platforms and everything like that. Obviously, this brings in Brave browser, which is very privacy focused, and as we know, that is also what the main use case for basic attention token is for the Brave browser and everything like that. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. We also, in this article, it says Brave browser hits 4 million active users, which I think is pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive.
That's pretty impressive so far. So
I just downloaded the actually both Dan and I don't know we just downloaded the mobile app to our phone. Apparently that has been pretty popular.
Yeah, the mobile app's good. I've been using that for a while. I have Brave on my computer too. It's pretty cool because it tells you kind of like how many ads it's blocked, how many seconds it's saved you from like clicking on shitty ads and stuff like that. Yeah, it's very cool. So anyway,
you do your thing, Brave. You do your thing.
Yeah, you do you. You're very brave. And so, all right, we are going to move right along from the news into something new that we've been wanting to do for a while, but we saw a tweet from Dan today that prompted us to do it today. So we're going to go into what are we calling this, Chamber? I forgot what we were going to call this.
I had a cool name for it. Crystal Ball Crypto Calls.
That's it. That's it. This is Crystal Ball Crypto Calls.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
All right, so how this is going to work is we are going to each give you, so Chamber and I have a couple written down, bold predictions, and then based on Dan's tweets, he's going to give you a couple of his bold calls. I'm actually going to write these down and see if we can track these at some point throughout when we keep making these, and we'll revisit some of them. So, Chamber, you want to start with your bold crypto call?
I think my first call, we had a little conversation over Telegram today about...
It got heated.
I would say it was colorful at most. I would say
right.
heated.
Not heated, no.
Yeah, colorful.
Right.
We have the REKT index fund. We had one coin that did incredible. Quant, we've talked about it a couple of times. We were tweeting about it earlier. And we have, I think we go like a 5 or 6x essentially on it, on our first position. And Bunchu and I have discussed, ways to take profit along the way, kind of set in stone. So we just kind of follow the rules as placed, and everything should work out perfectly. And of course, at the first sign of
success,
like, screw these rules, we go long. We were 5-6x on Quant, and I start looking at it. I'm like, man, this doesn't even have a market cap yet on CoinMarketCap. I'm like, this thing is it's like the 60 in. It's ranked 1,683 or something like that. And I'm like, this hasn't even hit an exchange yet. You basically only get it on IDEX. I'm like, this is going to be a monster. I feel like this is one of, you hear people say, let your runners run. I'm like, I think this is one of our runners. And, Bunchu was the captain as usual. He was making good common sense and said, we got to stick to our plan. And I relinquished, but he was nice enough. The original plan was...
I still haven't sold it.
Oh, I got you FOMO'd into it.
You did. So, as I was going to sell it, it was going up, and I'm like, I'm just going to sit here and watch the order book, and I never went any. And it's still going up as we speak, so I didn't sell it yet. But all right, so what's the prediction?
So the prediction is it's going to be in the top. So like I said, it's at like 1,680th. I'm saying it's going to be in the top 100 by December 31st.
Wow. Top 100, December 31st. All right, so as this segment is called, these are bold predictions.
It's a bold prediction.
This isn't something we're going to... It's not like the water bets that we've done. These are bold predictions.
These are certain to lose.
Right, exactly. So, all right, cool. So we got Quant to the top 100 by December 31st. All right, that is bold AF. I'm going to step in real quick and say Cynthia's, because I know what Cynthia's was. So Cynthia... she went to Voices of Blockchain in Chicago, and she had seen a presentation from a new and up-and-coming exchange that's coming out, Beaxy Exchange, Beaxy, Beaxy Exchange, and her bold prediction is that Beaxy is going to overtake Binance as the number one crypto exchange. So I think that's a pretty bold prediction.
Is that like in 2019, we'll say?
Well, yeah, I don't think it's even launched yet. So
right.
I think they launch in like the next month or so. But so we're going, we'll say 2019.
We'll say
I signed up to check it out, but that's pretty bold.
These are bold predictions, Dan. Beaxy, number one exchange. All right, sweet. So, Dan, hit us with some.
All right, based off my tweet, I said that this wedge pattern that we keep going down is going to break in early quarter four.
Starts next week.
It ends next week. So I'd say about a month and a half in. I mean, we've got backed on the way. The possible ETF, though I know it might be delayed, although that is one of my bold predictions as well, that it gets approved. It might not be this time around, but it gets approved. The market cycle, fourth quarter generally always moves up. A lot of companies report their earnings and fiscal earnings right before the holidays, and that generally props the market up. And if we look historically, every fourth quarter, the market cycle, crypto has moved up, except for 2013, I believe, where everything was just dead. And it's 2000.
Hashtag hopium.
Yeah,
we can have
mainline that hopium.
Yes, mainline. Yes. All right. So, do you have a specific price prediction by any chance?
God,
let's put it down in the books.
So against people who do price predictions like that.
I'm just asking.
Try it
you
out.
Don't have
just
to give one.
How it feels.
God.
I love peer pressure.
I'm
I like
on
peer
the spot
pressure
for the bold prediction segment
of the market cap.
You could do market cap.
Yeah,
you could do however you want. You could do Bitcoin end of the year. You could do market cap end of the year. Whatever you feel.
I'd say end of the year. I mean, this is conservative. I'd say we're double what we are now, maybe 500 billion.
500
I'd
million?
say that's pretty bold from where we are right this second.
I'd take it.
So,
I'd take it right now.
I'll take it. All right, that's a good one. Did you have any other ones?
Yeah, I'll make them quick. XLM, Stellar,
Yes.
and XRP, Ripple will be some of the best long-term holds over the course of, I'd say, 4 or 5 years.
I agree with that bold prediction.
Interesting. Can you talk about that? Why do you think so?
Well, with Stellar, I mean, you've got the IBM partnership. You've got their financial system integrated with banks and payment systems and people. It's decentralized. It's fast. They already have built-in trust anchors that work just like PayPal when you're making a purchase. You know, it's kind of like PayPal's kind of the center of that, and it's a trust feature between you and the other party. They're going to have their own distributed exchange for multiple currencies and support multi-currency transactions. And with Ripple, I mean, it's killing it with the banks and the partnerships. I mean, I know everybody's like, oh, it's centralized and this and that, but I'm sorry, we live in a centralized world. And so these big corporations are going to favor technologies like this, and banks are going to favor tech like this, you know. And so it's scalable, it's stable. REKT Rapid's coming out, and it's really popular amongst banks. From an investor perspective, like if you take out the emotional equation of, yeah, we're going to be decentralized and decentralize the world with Bitcoin and all that, you know, let's bring back a little bit of reality here. They can all coexist.
Yes,
and you shouldn't just take sides. You know, so I really think XRP is ahead of the game in that. And
sides just divide, you know?
Yeah, and
I'm also a woke MFer.
Oh my! Chamber is just the Canadian diplomat.
I'm so friendly. I love it.
Oh my god!
And
I don't even have anything for that. It's funny though. Like I just think with Ripple, it's just so funny how. I mean, it's just. People are drawn to it for whatever reason. I think it's one of those, for that same reason, I think, is because new people come from, you know, this not decentralized ideal, and they're not really familiar with, you know, that decentralization story arc or whatever. And so they see something like Ripple where they see partnerships with banks and all this stuff, and they're like, wow, this is going to be something. So I have a friend who I would classify as a no coiner, and last bull run he bought a giant bag of Ripple, and he thought he was the world's smartest person, and I'm telling him, hey man, sell this thing at $3, sell it at $3, sell it at $3. He goes, no, Ripple to $10. We're riding the wave. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, all right, man, you do you, whatever. And
did he have a good entry on it too?
Yeah, dude, 40 cents.
Really?
So he made his money, and so he wrote it all the way back down, all the way back down, all the way back down. Literally texts me today, and he's like, Ripple's on a run, double. He's holding his initial bag still, and he's like,
back on top,
Ripple,
baby.
man. He's like,
$10 still in sight.
I'm like, I like my sensors went off. I'm like, maybe we are about to flip this thing around. Like, I got my no corner friends from last bull run coming back at me. So, you know, maybe, but I think it's funny about Ripple. Like, I think that's why too. Is like, you know, people come from, you know, a non-decentralized idea, and so they're, you know, they see this and they're drawn to it for whatever reason, and I get it because I did the same thing. So, but I agree with all those things you just said, Dan. So, what was your? Did you have one more?
Yeah, I'll make them real quick. I mentioned the CBOE ETF being approved at some point.
Do you have a time frame?
Probably early next year.
Yeah, that's what Chamber. You made a prediction. I don't think it was like, you know, a set in stone one, but
was it on air?
Yeah, it was. You said you thought by February.
Yeah, I think February is the date. I think that's the last time they can push it back.
Yeah,
so they have to make a decision by then.
I would definitely agree with that. I think it's a lot different than what the Winklevoss ETF was, and CBOE has its ties in Wall Street. I mean, they're right next door, I believe, to the New York Stock Exchange.
Right.
And they've got a long history of affecting the financial markets in such a way. People are saying, "Oh, this, that we don't need ETFs to get, we didn't need an ETF to get to the bull run." Well, that's true, but we had a lot of hopium during that time, and we need a trigger. We need a trigger that will change the tide of the market, and whether that's like backed or, an ETF or something along those lines, that needs to come.
Yep. Cool. Any others?
Just off the tweet, I think one of the countries will switch to cryptocurrency, one of the ones that are super inflated. Or
like Zimbabwe or something?
Venezuela, Turkey, one of those. And then the last one, I think CZ announces a different use case for BNB, because that guy grinds hard.
Dude, he totally does. That guy is a pimp.
He
also
is.
designed the sickest hoodie of the year.
Yeah.
Hoodie of the year trophy.
I'm still trying to get mine. I know that he's going to use BNB as the token to power his decentralized exchange. It's going to be like the gas for that. But I still think he's got some tricks up his sleeve.
I'm sure he does. What he's done with BNB is pretty impressive so far, so I can't imagine he's through quite yet. But awesome. So now we're going to put you on the spot here, Dan, and we're going to go with the REKT Rapid Fire. All right, so this is just these are no crypto related questions here, just to let the audience get to know Dirty Dan. We're gonna ask you some questions here. First off, what is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie, either Scarface or The Departed.
Ooh, both good ones. Chamber, have you seen both of those?
I have seen both. I think I would lean towards The Departed.
I also think I would.
But it's close. It's like a 51%.
Yeah, both are just a 51% hack on The Departed.
Yeah, just a 51% hack on The Departed.
Perfect. Yeah, I think I'm the same. I Mark Wahlberg's character in The Departed is probably one of my favorites.
So good.
Yeah. But that's just like that. He could have just played himself in that as that character. I feel like
100%.
Awesome. What was your favorite song growing up?
How young? Give me a time frame here.
You can pick like teenager years.
Teenager. Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Oh, good one. Classic teen song too. Nirvana.
I always thought it was weird that I think that's what the song's about, but I always thought it was weird that Teen Spirit was like a deodorant.
Wait, is it a deodorant?
Yeah, you don't remember Teen Spirit commercials when you were a kid?
No.
Yeah, it was a deodorant.
Is that
it was weird.
A thing?
But I think that's why the name of the song is Smells Like Teen Spirit. Like, I think they're talking about the deodorant.
Totally could be it. I feel like this is a Shazam Kazam scenario, but I think pics or it didn't happen.
All right, I'll dig into it. Reddit, here I come.
And it all comes back around. Dan, what would be if you obviously nothing crypto related here? What would be your dream job?
My dream job. Maybe, and this is just coming to me, so I'm gonna roll with it. Life coach.
Oh, interesting. I could totally see you being a life coach. 100%. You are. I think one of the most kind of motivational guys out there in the space on crypto Twitter. I can 100% see Dirty Dan's life coaching, and you can call it that. I won't even take any royalties. It's fine.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
All right, here's another one. growing up, or no, it could be as an adult too. What was your favorite Halloween costume you've ever had?
My favorite Halloween costume when I was a kid, I was the Phantom from Phantom of the Opera.
That's a good costume.
Oh, classy as F for a kid.
Yeah.
See, you were woke.
I know what you were trick-or-treating for.
Oh, yeah.
My parents took me to see Phantom of the Opera when I was like 10 years old. And they were like, you hated it so damn much. All you wanted was your damn Raisinets. And to this day, I could probably sing half the soundtrack.
I thought you were going to say, to this day, I kill me a box of Raisinets.
Well, I do. Multiple boxes of Raisinets. They're one of my go-to, if I'm not a huge candy guy at the movie theater, I'm popcorn all the way. But if I was doing candy, it's Raisinets at the movie theater.
That's a good one.
Let's see if I got one more here.
These are fun. Keep them coming.
How about this one's always a fun one. What would be your go-to karaoke song?
My go-to karaoke song. That's tough. I would say "Got the Life" by Korn.
Oh,
that's
my God.
a great song.
Yes.
I would love to hear that karaoke.
We need the crypto Twitter karaoke night. That's what we need.
That is something we could really do.
I wonder if we could do it on Discord.
This could happen.
Or Hangout, or we could maybe Twitch when we get our Twitch stream going.
Man,
cool.
I'll tell you what, off the record, there are a ton of social medias out there.
Yeah, that do that.
Oh my goodness. I just can't believe how much you have to get interconnected into the interwebs here.
Yeah, I know. We need less different avenues for stuff, but
it's crazy.
All right, I feel like one more of these, and then I'll switch gears really quick, and then we'll wrap it up. What's your travel bucket list?
Travel bucket list. I feel like now I want to go to Malta, and I don't know why, but I do.
Oh, yeah. It's blockchain capital of the world, Malta.
Yeah, I want to go to Malta. I want to go to Savannah, Georgia, because my wife wants to go.
Savannah, Georgia's really nice.
I've never been, but I want to go, and I want to go during St. Patrick's Day because apparently they have the second biggest St. Patrick's Day celebration in the country.
Wow.
Behind Boston, I believe. Yeah, which is pretty cool. So
Did you guys know that was one of the, during the Civil War, that was kind of agreed upon, by both sides, not to, do war there.
Really?
So it's all, pristine and everything, from, hundreds of years ago. It's pretty crazy.
You hear that, Dan? So when you go, you're not allowed to do war.
Don't do war there. It's illegal. It's illegal. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
I won't. I'll try not to. But last place I really want to go is New Zealand.
Is where?
New Zealand.
Oh, yes, wonderful. New Zealand, Jermaine, present. Yes, wonderful. Okay, let's start the show. All right, so we are going to go into the REKT Index.
Brutal, savage, REKT.
All right, Chamber, give us the update before we get to some of Dan's favorite picks here.
Right. So we talked about our first family fight.
Hold on. Our first family fight was Cynthia versus Raptor Jesus.
Right, that's true.
Because true. Raptor Jesus is our family dog.
Yeah, he is part of the family. So yes, that is correct. So the second family fight that didn't include Raptor Jesus.
I'm glad we recorded today because you know what they say, never go to bed mad,
That's right. Just go to bed.
Just go to bed.
So we are down. I'll go lifetime. Oh yeah, believe it or not, we're down. We're down in USD just over 14%.
Okay, that's all right.
That's not awful. We're up in BTC 9.37%.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
That's exactly what we're talking. We're up in Ethereum value 83, just a little over 83%.
All right.
But yeah, so just down in USD,
Yeah, but that's minuscule. That's because of
15%.
Yeah, that's because of where the price of Bitcoin was when we started this thing. So
and because of quant.
Yeah,
our runner.
Quant's the one that's taken us all the way.
That's right.
So you know what you should do with that is you should secure profits.
No, you let your runners run.
Oh my, dude! Yeah, the old sell half on a 5x rule. Great.
I know.
Take profits. Come on, guys. That should have been one of my things when you asked me for the.
No, we are.
See, thank you. We're keeping a moon bag for Chamber. We're gonna keep a moon bag because I kind of agree that it's got a lot of room. But you know, you're right. You're 100% right. Learned nothing through.
No,
we've been doing this for 2 months, and literally every single guest that comes on says the exact same things. And
what if they're wrong?
And you're like, nah. Nah.
I still feel my points were valid.
Your points are valid. That's why we're keeping you a moon bag.
There you go. I stand by my points.
Anyway, so that's the REKT Index. We're going to add a little to the REKT Index with some of Dan's picks right here. Dan, what do you got for us?
Okay, and this is a long-term thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least a 5x.
Well, like we talked about earlier, 2 of the coins we mentioned. The third one we didn't. One of them is BNB.
BNB. Oh, so we actually do. We actually do, which means
we have to buy more.
Double up on it. Yep, because it's probably a good spot to do so. I'm sure I know this one. This was Chapo's pick. Chapo, not Chapo. Chapo. This was a Chapo pick. BNB from way back on our second, I believe, our second episode. And by the way, Chamber, I messed up those who gave us quant because I wrote them on the same sheet of paper right next to each other.
That's understandable.
But so anyway, all right. So BNB, obviously for obvious reasons that we discussed, CZ is a star and it's part of your bold predictions.
Yeah, and it's actually being used. There's not a lot out there that's currently being used right now. It's a utility.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
All right. Next one is another one that's being used. BAT.
Love BAT.
I mean,
love me some BAT.
We don't have a bag of that yet, right?
We do not.
Well, that's exciting.
And that one's easy to buy. You can buy that all over the place.
I think you can buy it on Coinbase. No.
Coming soon.
That's right. Ooh.
And again, I'm behind it because Brendan Eich, who's the guy who founded it, he created JavaScript, Mozilla, Firefox, all of those things. It's
no big deal,
ecosystem.
Ever heard of it?
Yeah. And
use the internet much?
I mean, you're using JavaScript on the daily. And I think they even recently started making a name for themselves prior to the article that you read, that they were challenging Google on their privacy issues. They're making public attacks now. So they're bringing more attention, basic attention to their product.
Basic attention.
Just basic, nothing fancy, just
nothing
basic
crazy
attention.
about it.
All right, and the third one is one of my, I don't know how many people have heard of it, but it's for my very, very long term. It's called ARC Block.
I've heard of this.
What's the ticker here?
ABT.
ABT. Do you know where I can buy it?
Hoiby.
Oh boy. All right.
Second here.
Sometimes we gotta go places to get our coins.
I hear you. That's the beauty and the terrible part of this segment is we have accounts all over the place now.
Yep.
Yes, we do.
And the reason I like it is Robert Mao. He was a software dev engineer and research and development engineer at Microsoft for like 5.5 years, and he started this. And it's basically it's a modularity. Like, I'm big in platforms and tokens that can interconnect blockchains, because if we continue going at this rate, this coin will do that. This platform, I should say, through modularity, it'll allow any dApp to work on any blockchain, whether it's Ethereum or any like Neo, hell, even Dragon Chain, something like that. It'll
be huge.
It'll allow that, and they're targeting healthcare, government, education, and you can pretty much build any app, everything from like databases to certificates, stuff like that.
And you can get it on KuCoin.
Oh, is it on KuCoin now?
Yeah.
There you go.
I bought it on Huobi.
That's one of the bigger ones. So
I think that's a really great point. Like, interoperability is going to be whoever can get that right and get it right maybe first, but that's going to be a huge key to, I think not only the mass adoption, but the real adoption in crypto, is because right now you need, each one of these things is separate. So if you can find a way to, chain them all together, for lack of a better term, I think that's a huge opportunity there. So,
right, it's very much like they're calling it blockchain, like 3.0 or whatnot. It's basically like having websites that are built that you can access on your Android phone, iOS phone, on your Windows computer, your Mac computer. You got to think like that. That doesn't matter what operating system you're using. You can still engage the website, and that's what they're planning to do. If you can think of how that works, that's how this is intended to work.
Very cool. Awesome. So you got those written down, Chamber, for us? Got them. Awesome. So that is our REKT Index segment. So that's going to really do it for us for, our segments here. I just want to, thank you, Dan, for making the time, coming on with us. We hope you had a good time chatting with us, because we definitely enjoyed it. And two, I want to just give you a quick platform to, kind of plug yourself. Where can people find you? Anything that you're doing, working on, anything like that?
Well, first of all, thank you guys for staying up late for the West Coast guy. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and I had a lot of fun. My Twitter is at D1RTY Dan, DAN. And a couple of things. One thing I'm working on is a Decentralized Dash 10K.
Yes, talk about that. That's it. I wanted to talk to you about that.
Yeah, so basically we kind of looked at, I'm a runner. That's one of the health things that I do. And one of the big issues with running is that, if you want to compete or something, you got to go to a central location and compete with other people. So I thought, we have all these apps now. We have all these things that allow us to communicate through social media. Why can't we all compete in a 10K without being in the same spot? Why can't it be decentralized? And so it started off as a kind of a meme. I challenged somebody off somebody else, where it was something on Twitter where people were challenging each other to 3 or 4 different things. And I think it started with silicone, and everybody was doing it to each other. But it was all negative stuff. And so I said, what's something positive I can do? So I challenged from Moby Dick and a couple others to a 10K. And then other people wanted to start participating, and we got this idea to how are we going to track this? How are we going to do this with apps, that you're running apps, and you train and you post your results as you train, and then you have a week to compete in this 10K for your best time. And you can win crypto. My wife and someone else won each $50 in Bitcoin for doing these little side competitions that are helping you, and it's totally free besides burning calories. That's helping you to get healthy. And the 10K is supposed to be at the end of October. We can all race and participate. There's sponsored prizes. We have Blockfolio giving away some prizes. I forgot some of the others. Bit Ninja Supply. I think Hodl Fuel. Anyway, you can win prizes. You can win crypto, and you just participate. And eventually, we'd like to, have our own app. Collect our own data, maybe tokenize your health metrics, and share it with industries if you so want to be paid.
That's very cool. I've been seeing that on all over the place. Actually, it's a really awesome idea, and I think it's something that'll be pretty successful. If I could drive a 10K without getting tired, I would definitely participate. But
I'll let Bunchu do the drive. That sounds tiring.
I think we're gonna have to. Will I have to represent the REKT podcast chamber?
Yeah. You're gonna have to. But you can sign up. Our website is, I think it's D-IO. We had ddash.io. I think we had some issues with the domain names and stuff like that. You can DM me or message me or hit me up on Twitter.
Do you have a specific Twitter for it? Or anything?
Yeah, it's it's at 10KRYPTO. We have a Telegram channel. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. But we can get you.
Yeah, if you want to message it to me, we'll put it out. Like we'll put it out in our tweet and everything, so people can know where to find it for sure.
Okay, and the final thing I just want to throw out there is, like I said earlier, I try to push a positive message. I am a human being. I do have my things and my dark side and whatever. But like I said, if you're out there struggling through anything, depression, addiction, alcoholism, and you feel like you're alone, you're not. There's a lot of people who've been through this. I've been through this, and cryptocurrency is my passion, but so is helping people. So if you ever want to talk, or if you need just someone just to listen, and I won't say anything, I'm one of those people out here who can do that for you. I've been down that path and tasted gunmetal before, and it's not good.
I appreciate that, and Dan, like I said, you're one of the most genuine people that I've come across yet in the space. So we appreciate you coming on. I know you did say you have a dark side, and I've seen some of that dark side. It's fantasy football, and we play each other in the Whale Reports League not until week 9, thank God. But I'll probably be 1-8 by then, or 1-7 by then. So, and currently, very, very early projections. Dan is projected to beat me by 13 points. So I'll have to work on my team by then. But
we'll have to go at it. And that sports is where I kind of come out a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that in our draft chat and everything. I thought that was pretty funny. So, but anyway, again, thank you so much for coming on. I will leave you with our favorite segment. The BitMEX REKT of the week came today, a couple hours ago, on a liquidated long at 64.34 for 10 million contracts. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, wah, wah. So there you go. But until next time, we will be back. I'm Bunchu, 4Chamber, and Dirty Dan. This has been REKT Podcast. Don't get wrecked, and that is financial advice.